Hey you guys. Okay, so tonight I had a friend of mine share something with me today, share some notes to a conference that we took, and one line in there kind of stuck out to me and made me think. And that was talking about how whether or not your business or your educational growth or your emotional growth or whatever, the note said business, but you can apply it to anything. That there's no such thing as a stable business. And I was like, huh? And so I read the next line and it makes total sense. There's no such thing as a stable business. Your business is either growing or it's dying. There is no stable. It's got to be going in one direction or another. And if it's just sitting there, nobody wants that for their business. You want your business to grow. You want your emotional life. You don't want to just stay right here forever. You want your emotional emotions to grow, your emotional abilities to grow. And education, if you're learning something new, which we should all be learning something new all the time, you want growth in that area. You don't want to just stop. Which is why all or most, I guess, professions, at least in healthcare, we have to have so many hours of continuing education every single year. And that's because they don't want us just to be stable. They want us to grow, and because things constantly change. So then I thought, I'll just look up some of the definitions here of stability. So resistant to change. Y'all, everything's always changing. We shouldn't be resistant to change. Not wavering in purpose. Well, you can have a great purpose, but can your purpose always be evolving? Always be changing, always be improving? Yes. To be steady and firm. Well, steady and firm is great if you don't want to grow. I've always thought steady and firm and stable, those are supposed to be really positive things that you strive for. No, not after looking at this. And set in stone. Y'all, nothing's actually set in stone, ever. You know that never say never. Nothing's ever really set in stone. So I started thinking about it. Instead of being, there's my camera, stable, what about dynamic? Dynamic to me it's not the exact opposite of stable, but it's darn close. So dynamic, I would much prefer, instead of being stable, is to be dynamic. Dynamic is energetic. It's effective, like effective action, like dynamic action is effective and energetic action. Enterprising, sounds good to me. Being progressive, I'm not talking politics, I'm just talking thoughts here. But for have your business be progressive, to have your relationships be progressive, to have your education to be progressive. Progressive means moving forward. It's dynamic, it's moving. And vitalizing, or giving life to. So who wouldn't want to continue to give life to your relationships, to your education, to your workplace, to your business, to whatever it is that you're pursuing? So instead of stable, I would like to stick a nugget in your head. Instead of striving for stable, try striving for dynamic. I mean, heck, it even just sounds better. And not being able to... not being able to go with the flow, because everything's always changing. Healthcare, my gosh, healthcare kills you because not really, but like for us, for continuing ed, every time I turn around, there's a new drug. Like I'll ask a patient what they're on, and they'll tell me, and I'm like, I haven't given a pill to a patient in 30 years. Everything I give is IV or inhaled, so you're gonna have to tell me what that is, sir. And it's always a new drug for diabetes or blood pressure or something. Everything is always changing. Like ask anyone who's in computer science. Or heck, if you own a computer or a TV or a phone, by next year it's outdated, because those industries are very dynamic. They're always changing. They are not stable. Anyway, I don't know. Everyone always thinks stable is great. I just thought I'd toss that out there and go, maybe not. Maybe dynamic's great. And my mom's always saying that she and my stepdad, when I ask them, would they want to do this, or do they want to go here with us, or what are they doing for the day? And she's like, we're fluid. We're like water. And I'm like, okay. okay. She's like, we just kind of go with the flow. And when you can do that, and when you can bob and weave with life and kind of go with the flow, boy, y'all, the current, you ride with the current and not against it. And things don't fight so hard for stability. Like, fight for a little more dynamics, a little more change in your life, and just see everyone does have a primary need for certainty. I know that. Everyone has a primary need for variety, believe it or not. Nobody wants life to be exactly the same like Groundhog Day. And so you have to balance those things, obviously. We want to be certain that we have a job or certain that our relationship is working. But at the same time, we don't want to be stagnant and so stable that we're stagnant. So anyway, I hope you guys got something out of this and that you're a little more like water today and you go with the flow, and hope you're all growing and have dynamic relationships, businesses, educations, and lives.